Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Aveji, has caused the arrest of the former and current officers of the Sefwi Akontombra District Assembly in the Western Region. The two were unable to produce receipt vouchers for 2015-2016 Auditor General's report. They were whisked away to the Parliament Police Station for their caution statement to be taken. Chairman of PAC, James Aveji, and the NPP member of the committee have been defending the arrest. We can first listen to Chairman of the committee.
You realize that every witness that appears before us is made to take an oath. And they swore to speak the truth and the truth only. So if you are witness, you appear before the Public Accounts Committee, you take an oath, then you begin to lie to the committee. First of all, it's amount to perjury because you lie to the Committee of Parliament. Secondly, you present false documents, knowing very well that this document you are presenting is not the document to us. So, deceit of public office. These are possible offense charges that they can level against them. So, if we realize that you are doing that, because under Article 103 of the Constitution, we have been clothed with the powers of investigation to investigate and conduct an inquiry. We have also been clothed with the powers of a high court or a justice of superior courts. So we realize that you are deceiving public officer. You are committing perjury because you are lying to public officers after taking an oath. The best thing for us to do is for you to go to the police and go and take a statement, especially it's just a caution statement, and then you can be bailed. Then the rest follow. We will not be involved into that. But if you do this, then others will know that you cannot come to the Public Accounts Committee and lie your way through and go. You don't do that. After taking an oath to speak the truth and you lie to the committee, and that will lead us to continue to work and be deceiving ourselves that we are trying to fight corruption.
So that's the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Aveji's defense of that action he took in Parliament today. He talks about lying. He mentions perjury. Let's get to our correspondent, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, who's joining me from Parliament to give us a background on this, and then we move it from there. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Gifty.
Bring us up to speed. What exactly is does the chairman mean when he says that these people have perjured themselves?
So this is a team from the Sefwi Akontombra District Assembly that appeared before the committee last week. There were issues with some of the payments that the assembly had done in the past, up to 61 separate payments. There were actually 62 that they were asked to produce vouchers as evidence that the monies were handed over to the individuals they say had actually taken the money. Now, what happened was when they appeared last week, there were questions about the availability of those vouchers, and they said they did not have them in hand. They said they would go to their district and come back this week and come produce that particular evidence. This morning, they showed up with the vouchers in question. There were 62 of them. And the committee decided that they were going to do an examination of it, because what had happened was in the 2015-2016 reports of the Auditor General, the Auditor General had raised questions that the necessary evidence that the payments were done had not been provided, which is why it's come to the level of the Public Accounts Committee. Now, according to the chairman and the members of the committee, and just for emphasis, this is an action that is backed virtually by the entire committee, including the minority on the committee. You know, the Public Accounts Committee is chaired by an opposition member. So in this case, the minority on the committee happens to be the NPP members. They are also backing this particular move by the chairman. The committee's claim is that the said vouchers that they claim to have presented this morning before the committee are forged documents. The details on them do not tally with what the Auditor General was looking for when he showed up in the district to undertake the necessary audit. Hence, for the committee, anyone trying to deceive them and forge documents and bring to them is committing an illegal act. Hence, the decision to report the matter to the police, who then takes the gentleman away to the police station here in Parliament, even as investigations begin.
I'll come to what exactly has happened as we speak. But in the morning, Joseph, give us a mental picture of how it really happened. Was it that the police officers were on standby, or were they called in at some point? Give us a mental picture how it all happened.
So anytime there is a sitting ongoing of the Public Accounts Committee, as well as even the Appointment Committee or any other committee in Parliament, police persons are actually around always to keep the security, to ensure order, and ensure that the members of Parliament and the public present here are protected. So there are plainclothes police persons and there are uniformed police persons in every public setting that happens here in Parliament. So what the chairman of the committee did was to call in some of the uniformed police persons to come pick them up. And just to make the point, this is actually a signal that the chairman of the committee gave as far back as last week.
Okay.
Because in the course of the sitting since Monday, he'd been complaining that some people show up before the committee and they tell lies. He had claimed, for example, that when some of the district coordinating directors appeared on behalf of their coordinating directors with an excuse that their district chief executives couldn't attend because they were present at the government result fair, some of them had lied to the committee to a certain extent. So as at last week, and we did that story in the course of last week, Mr. Veggie had cautioned that going forward, anyone who appears before the committee and commits perjury or tells lies will actually be dealt with by the police. And looks like he's backed his caution and his warning with action this morning.
And this certainly sounds like a decision that the committee, all the members of the committee agree upon. Joseph, I'll come to you again, like I said, on what is happening to those people now. But you mentioned earlier that the minority on this committee, and in this case, the minority from the governing NPP, has also been defending the decision. Kofi Ajakum is one of the committee members. Let's hear him and then we'll go back to Joseph.
Everybody comes and just gives that simple answer. In the case of Akontombra, the PVs that we were looking for last week, they couldn't present. The explanations were not adding up. We give them the benefit of the doubt to go and come back this week, today. Today, when they came, they were presenting PVs that were totally different from what the auditors cited during the audit period. And so a clear indication that an auditee that has appeared before a committee is sworn oath to say the truth, and then you are now presenting a PV that is totally different from what the auditors cited, means that we have gone to forge some PVs to come and make up the report. And that was why I think that the chairman directed them to be arrested.
So that's the funny question. On what basis does the committee come to the conclusion that the documents they presented were forged and that they engaged in forgery for which you've ordered the arrest?
Yes, the PVs were having serial numbers, and which numbers had been captured in the Auditor General's report. So the numbers were there. And therefore, if you now appear to come and give us something that is different from the sequential PVs that were, as at the time the audit was being conducted, then it means that you just quickly went into, get some pieces together just to come and answer, and for which this action is supposed to be a deterrent to those who will venture to do the same thing.
Any caution that you think other MMDs and other invitees should take in the light of this?
And I believe that the strong caution is that whoever is committing any infraction, know that you can't commit that and go on transfer to another district. When you are cited in the Auditor General's report, wherever you are in the country or outside, you will be brought to come and answer. So the usual thing that, I am at District A, I committed the infraction. Now I'm on transfer to a different place. And then somebody else comes in to answer the infraction that you committed and left. I think it will be a thing of the past. So the officer who committed that infraction, wherever district he's been posted to, will be called to appear before the current officer, so that at least we can ascertain the truth.
Kofi Ajakum there, he's the minority representative, if you like, and this man is the MPP member of the committee, of the Public Accounts Committee there, defending as well the decision they took to arrest these finance officers. Let's go back to Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, who is still with us, and from Parliament. Joseph, they were supposed to go to the police station and take their statement. Tell us what has happened since then.
That's what we gather, that is happening. And from the indication we're getting from the police, the idea is not exactly to hold on to them, because then it's not as if they are being punished. It's just a case of an investigation commencing. And so that process is still ongoing in order for them to take their statement over the claim of perjury, which is actually what they are allegedly being investigated for. Once that is done, they'll be allowed to go, even as the investigation into the perjury claim continues. Aside the issue that needs to be investigated with regards to the payment itself, which is actually a subsequent matter that the Auditor General's office is taking up.
Were they able to manage any few words before they were taken away? Tell us about their demeanor and how this came to them.
So there was an attempt by one of them to offer some form of explanation, even after the chairman of the committee asked that they be taken away. But the chairman responded and made the point to him that he can make those comments and offer those explanations in the statement that he'll be writing to the police. And so in the earlier conversations, they had a few words. They were trying to offer explanations on how come they thought they had brought in the right documents and all. But after the chairman came to the conclusion that he felt forged documents were being presented and asked the police to take them away, even the attempts by one of them to utter a few comments were interrupted by the chairman, James Saveji, who said that they can do that in their police statement. And then they were taken away. The two of them were held in a handcuff, one on the left, the other on the right, and then they were holding on to their bags, because then they had the document in question that they had come to show. And then even as they were being walked away, they interacted with some of the other representatives from that particular MMDA who did come around until eventually they were walked down the stairs and taken to the ministry's police station.
We do have some
taken to the Parliament police station.
Parliament police station. We do have some pictures that we'll just put up briefly. But then, Joseph, have they been released as it were?
We understand the process is ongoing with taking their statements and all, after which they will eventually be released. But we understand those processes are ongoing. It's not been concluded yet.
Okay. What else happened at the committee sitting today, Joseph?
It's a continuous process. The members are interrogating the 2015-2016 Auditor General's report. The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Mr. Yanka, escorted some of the representatives from some of the universities to come appear before the committee. So that has been ongoing. The committee has currently taken a 1-hour break. They are expected to come back any moment from now, and then the interrogation would continue with regards to how the expenditures were made with some of the MMDAs, and now they are dealing with some of the technical universities.
Joseph, thank you very much for that update and detailed background to that interesting story. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our parliamentary affairs correspondent there, bringing us up to speed on a rather interesting development in Parliament today. Well, two finance officers or former finance officers of the Sefwi Akontombra district have been were arrested. The arrest was caused by the chairman or the chairperson of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee. We'll bring you more of that story in our subsequent bulletins.